This excerpt is from my second novel, The Old Dragon's Head. It's from chapter 19, entitled The Place Where Words Are Made. In this novel, I wanted to explore certain esoteric Chinese traditions, and this chapter refers to the concept of the transmigration of souls. That's where one person dies, and their soul, or Po in Chinese, migrates to the body of another person who's about to be born. What you need to know about this excerpt is that Bolin is the young male protagonist, and he goes to meet Luli, who is the keeper of the Po office. Remember, Po means soul. And yin-yang eyes are also referred to, and these are the eyes of a clairvoyant, a person who can see things that others cannot. The reading begins as follows. Luli's Po office was across the road from his house on Funyan Street. Healer, seer and geomancer, her intercession on the old dragon's head, where she had prevented them from harming the gulls, reminded him of just how high her reputation was in these parts. Bolin found himself walking across Funyan Street. What was he doing? Was he really going to seek her help? A magpie hopped along her threshold and then flew off, pursued by his mate. A pair of black and white birds. Well, that was a good sign. He fingered his yin-yang coin charm, the black side with a white dot in the middle and the white side with a black dot in the middle. Yin and yang. The Tao had spoken to him. The magpies, black and white, were a good omen. He was on the right path. Luli opened the door, bowed and showed him in. The last time he'd entered her Po office was when, as a youngster, he'd played with Ru, her son. Despite that, the familiar fresh smell of camphor wood wafted over him. Boxes and scrolls in one corner, crates in another. The shop was more or less as he remembered it. The pawned items were neatly labelled in small pigeonholes towards the back of the store. The room emanated a mysterious serenity, a sense of everything in its place and a place for everything. Bolin liked that. In a world of tumult and upheaval, such order, any order, was a welcome restraint. Master Bolin, Luli said, wearing a long-sleeved turquoise gown. You've come. What can I do for you? Was she expecting him? She had the foresight of yin-yang eyes, so perhaps she was. Please, I need your help, he muttered. Go on. I'm frightened, Luli. It started with headaches, then strange dreams. Now I'm seeing and hearing ghosts and other things. There. He already felt better saying that. What kind of things, she said. Dream visions, terrible things. They're so real. I wake up in a cold sweat, and there's a hand clasped around my throat, and I hear a man's voice. My, what does he say? Phrases like, release me and help me. I was convinced there was a demon inside me. I went to see Dong, the abbot, and he tried to exorcise it. But when it didn't work, he told me I wasn't possessed at all. Did he now? Luli said, pacing the floor like a tigress. I think I know what is happening to you. You do? Tell me, please, what is it? He blurted out. Can you show me your birthmark? Luli asked. What? Why? I don't understand. You know, I am the custodian of gifts and bequests left by my deceased customers, the sole donors. Some leave letters for their sole receiver. I have an inkling one of them is for you. What's this to do with my birthmark? He asked, unmasking his exasperation. Please, she replied, bear with me. All right, here it is, he said, standing and lifting the lower part of his robe. There, the squidgy mark, just above my right ankle. Ha, I see. It looks a bit like a reptile, a salamander, possibly a dragon. Let me see if I have a match to it, Luli said, searching the row of boxes behind her. A match? What are you talking about? I'm the keeper of the Po office, the house of restless souls, she said, as her hands moved with swift dexterity along the rows of boxes and packets. When a person dies, their po or soul leaves their body and searches for another body to enter, the body of a baby about to be born. Along with the soul, the birthmark of the deceased also transfers to the newborn. It's the distinguishing mark, the link between the two people, the soul donor and the soul receiver. When the soul donor leaves a gift or envelope for me to pass on to their soul receiver, they draw two things on it: the shape of their birthmark and where that birthmark appears on their person. Why, that's fascinating, he said. The abbot Dong had told him of the Taoist belief in the transmigration of souls, but to actually read correspondence from the donor of his soul? This was extraordinary, and the last thing he'd expected from this visit. "Ha, here it is!" Ludi cried with an air of triumph, and held up an envelope. "Yes, there's a match, both in shape and position of the birthmark. This gives me such immense satisfaction. I am a connection between two complete strangers whose lives overlapped simply because they shared the same soul, and one of them is standing right next to me. That's you. This letter is written by the hand of the person who donated their soul to you." "Are you sure?" He could hardly believe it. The envelope she handed him felt like the most precious thing he'd ever received. In a way, it was. "Yes, I am," Ludi encouraged him, "and please, you can open it." Handshaking, he broke the wax seal. "Who's it from?" Ludi asked. How would I know that?" he shrugged. "Look on the inside of the envelope. The sender should have inscribed his name there." He looked. It was blank. "There's no inscription." "Let me see," Luli said, examining the envelope. "I always insist that the donor mark their name on the inside of the envelope. Oh dear, you're right, there's nothing, only this note." "Let me have it," he insisted. Incredible. His soul donor had left him a note, his heart pounding with anticipation as he read, "To the recipient of this envelope, you are the inheritor of great and marvellous magic powers. Find the pearl of wisdom which waits for you in the place where words are made."